Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's battery drain o'clock, only this time with the newest iPhones. If you haven't already, I just released my iPad battery drain test, so if you haven't watched that one yet, I'll attach a card at the top right and also a link in the video description in case you want to watch it after this one. Those keen to detail or simply Apple sheeps might notice that there is one combatant that isn't present here, the iPhone 14 Pro, and that's because Apple is having some serious delays on certain products, including the iPhone 14 Pro line. This has to do with the COVID policy over in China and their manufacturing plant. Luckily, my 14 Pro Max is my daily driver and I got it day one, but some of these shipping times are ridiculous, with almost all models of the 14 Pro not being delivered until after Christmas. So I didn't want to have you guys waiting until then, so don't worry, at the end I'll give you some inferences about the iPhone 14 Pro, taking information from past drain tests, because I know some of you guys find my drain test useful, especially when on the market for an iPhone upgrade. So that's why we won't feature the iPhone 14 Pro in this drain test. However, if you guys want a redo in early 2023 with the new 14 Pro, simply let me know in the comment section below or at me over on Twitter. And before we start with the official tell of the tape, do me a solid and help me reach 60,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's been my personal goal to hit this milestone before 2023 officially arrives. I appreciate every single one of you guys who have made my dream possible. And without further ado, let's move on to what you guys really came here for. Let's roll that intro and introduce our four combatants. Tech enthusiasts, welcome to the Juan&Only's iPhone battery drain test for 2023. At the bare minimum, give this video a like, as these videos take a good while to put together and meticulous attention is placed to ensure this is a clean fight, with all contestants featuring the exact same settings. That includes brightness, which by the way is set to 75% on each device. True Tone has been disabled. Night Shift has also been turned off. All are hooked on the same Wi-Fi network, and most importantly, all are running the same operating system, that being iOS 16.1.1. Some of you guys have asked before, which is fair, but all four phones are rocking with 100% battery capacity, so it's literally no excuses. Like I said, it's an even playing field here. Now that we've explained the rules, let's head over to our tell of the tape and introduce our combatants very quickly. And by the way, if you're a veteran to my drain test, I've conveniently attached some timestamps just in case you want to skip the intros. So first, positioning will not change throughout the entirety of our test. So starting from our iPhone farthest to the left is our bantamweight, the iPhone SE 3rd generation that rocks the A15 chip. Next to the SE is the newly released iPhone 14, the regular one, in this awesome midnight color. It matches the SE in terms of chipset, also rocking the speedy A15. To the right of the 14 and in our third positioning is the brand new iPhone 14 Plus, a phone that replaced the mini line, now featuring a larger display and consequently a larger battery. It's also rocking the A15. And finally, in fourth positioning and farthest on the right is the iPhone 14 Pro Max in the stunning deep purple color, and it rocks an improved chipset featuring the A16 Bionic chip. And now, here are the technical specifications of our four devices. In particular, the biggest impact to battery has to do with physical battery size, and also screen brightness. Alright folks, I think it's time. Here we go. Round number one, as is customary. Let's give these guys a chance to warm up. So for our initial test, we set the iPhones idle and on standby. But to add some variance, notice that the iPhone 14 Pros feature that always on display. Apple claims the improved A16 has enough power to compensate for the always on display. So you already know how I do it on my channel. We gotta test it out. So for 45 minutes, they were left on the home screen sitting idle. After 45 minutes, the iPhone SE falls to 96%. The 14 sits at 97. The 14 Plus hits us with that same. It's also at 97%. And it seems the iPhone 14 Pro Max didn't forget its tech steroids this time. It handled this portion of the test with no problems and comes in at 100%. But then we put our four iPhones to sleep, turning off the display, and it's clear to see the outlier. The iPhone 14 Pro Max remains lit, very dimly though, but it's still on thanks to that always on technology. One would initially think this would be a detriment to battery life, but it's not, and the A16 kicked this round's ass as after 45 additional minutes while in sleep mode, it only falls 1 point down to 99%. The iPhone 14 Plus falls slightly more, down to 96%, while its younger brother, the regular 14, comes in with the same score, still sitting at 97%. And the SE slips further, currently being in last place, coming in at 94%. Not bad for the most part for an hour and a half of essentially running idle. Okay, moving on to test number 3. This is our video recording test. Whether you realize it or not, iPhone's photography has come a really long way, and most of us take a considerable amount of pictures and videos on iPhones because the sensors have simply gotten so good over the years. So to replicate some camera usage, we opened up the camera app, switched to video mode, and record my wall for 45 minutes. And interestingly, all 4 phones took a harder hit than I initially expected, with the SE now dropping to 72%, while the regular 14 now sits at 82%. The 14 Plus only sheds off 10 points as it now sits at 86, and miraculously, the iPhone 14 Pro Max slips and takes a hard blow as it now lost its lead and now currently is in second place, coming in at 83%. Interesting results to say the least, but there's no time to waste. We still have a ton of rounds. Let's go ahead and get right into round number 4, and I do want to thank my girlfriend for helping me out with this one. So for this test, I figured, what's something iPhone lovers adore? Got it. FaceTime. Honestly, I feel like a lot of us have transitioned over from using regular phone calls to FaceTiming. At least Gen Z does for the most part. I mean, me and my girlfriend do it all the time. As such, with the release of the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you already know we both nerded out over FaceTime, grinding on the new Pokemon games on our Switches, and each iPhone got a 10-minute turn at FaceTime while the other sat idle. I felt 10 minutes was pretty adequate and a good average, or at least that's what I feel is the average length of a FaceTime call. So after each iPhone got its turn, we now come in with these results. The SE slips further and is now starting to put its hands down, now officially coming in at 55%. The 14 fares much better here as it's still at a healthy 73%, whereas its older brother keeps outshining it with the 14 Plus coming in at 80%. And while still trying to pick up the pace, the 14 Pro Max is now sitting at 77%. So at this point in the match, is your original pick winning? I was honestly a little surprised to see the 14 Pro Max lose its lead so early on, but it's still pretty early to call and it's still anyone's dub to take. We now head into round number 5, our social media test. I know it's kind of been a circus since the Elon Musk Twitter takeover, but with the World Cup going on, Twitter is my go-to social media site to quickly get up to date on all of the matches. By the way, who are you rooting for? Some of you know I gotta root for Mexico and the USA, but also my third pick, and honestly the most likely of my picks to win it, is Spain, who just demolished Costa Rica 7-0, I believe. Let me know who you got in the tournament with a flag emoji in the comment section below. So here we ran Twitter and scrolled through my feed for 30 minutes and then shifted over to watching Reels over on Instagram. Which reminds me, I'm close to hitting 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I know a lot of you guys watching stay on TikTok, don't lie. So do me a solid and follow me on there too. It'll take like 5 seconds. Plus, this holiday season, I'm going to be posting a lot more iPhone hacks, iPad hacks, and a lot more content, so definitely stay tuned. Alright, so after 1 hour of browsing on social media, let's switch things up and start from the right. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is still holding its ground, being not too far behind, but still in second, coming in at 68%. The 14 Plus is shockingly widening the gap, coming in at a much more impressive 73%. The regular 14 had an impressive round, falling to only 60%. And finally, the SE is well under half tank now. It seems it may have skipped several days at training since it now plunges down to 30%. So now we arrive to my favorite round because it means I can take a break from babysitting iPhones all day. This is the streaming test. While consuming content is a richer experience on something like an iPad or MacBook display, watching an episode or two on your phone is a pretty common occurrence, at least for me. So just like with my 2023 iPad drain test, to add some variance and spice, we have 2 of the phones on Netflix watching Club de Cuervos, a show that I ironically haven't watched yet, but looks fire, and the other 2 ran Hulu on some good old Rick and Morty. The plan was to have them switch at halftime, but the poor iPhone SE, with its smaller physical battery and outdated design, met its fate only 5 hours and 40 minutes into our tech brawl. At this point in the test, when the SE died, the regular 14 sat at 47, the 14 Plus still steadily maintaining its lead at 61, and the 14 Pro Max continuing to lose the pace, slipping now to 54%. As you'll see, relatively, the SE had a very poor performance in direct comparison to the rest, so if it's battery life you're looking for, the SE may not be a good fit for you. But continuing on with our test and switching apps like I mentioned, after another 90 minutes of streaming, the regular 14 now sits at 29%, nearly to a quarter tank. The 14 Plus sits at exactly half capacity, right at 50%, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, with incredible heart, continues to try and narrow the gap, now coming in at 44%. We're nearing 8 hours of testing, and to me, it's pretty incredible that our Max and Plus models are sitting at or near half capacity. It's pretty crazy. So now we move into our championship rounds. It's now or never, and the 14 and 14 Pro Max need to make something happen now, as they're running out of time. For our 7th test, we head over to Pokemon Go to run the gaming test. I think everyone mindlessly games on their phones here and there, so each phone had 20 minutes to get in some battles at the Go Battle League. By the way, for any Pogoers watching this, here's my trainer code. If you want to raid with me, send me some gifts or whatever, add me and I'll be sure to add you back. It was a rough night. I maybe won about half the battles, but after about a cumulative hour of gaming, let's look at our results. The iPhone 14 is officially in the red, now succumbing to probably a mediocre training regimen, and now slips to 18%. The 14 Plus is probably feeling pretty confident right now, as it's at a comfortable position, coming in at 41%. And still in second, showing tremendous heart, the 14 Pro Max now is at 35%. The match has been a decisive one so far, but still, anything can happen. The 14 is ready to punt its Hail Mary. For our penultimate test, we feature our export test, and this time around, we did minimal but identical edits on each phone of a 45-minute export, a larger project than most people usually deal with, but it will put these iPhones to the test, drawing a ton of power from their respective chipset. Here, the idea is that the best chipset in theory should not only export faster, but conserve battery while doing so as well. But honestly, each phone did perform similarly, but nonetheless, they all took a pretty big blow. The 14 continues its descent and now is at 9%, essentially on its last leg, while the 14 Plus flexes its cardio still at a very respectable 33%. You want to know if the 14 Pro Max fared better here, huh? It didn't. It's still behind officially at 27%. This is it, ladies and gents, the last and final round, the YouTube test, where we head over to the hottest tech channel on the entire internet. That's right, TheJuan&Only, and play my infamous battery drain test playlist. At the conclusion of this test, there will be one iPhone standing, but which one is it going to be? By looking at the current scoreboard, it looks pretty obvious, but you never know. I'm pleasantly surprised though, as these iPhones have been running continuously, now pushing upwards of 10 hours. However, the iPhone 14 couldn't complete the 11th one, as it succumbs to its fate. It falls short, coming in 3rd place with an official time of 10 hours and 55 minutes. Still a pretty good performance, and as you all can see, it nearly is double the amount of time versus the SE 3rd gen. But okay, now we have two. The 14 Pro Max honestly completely let me down. It's the flagship, it's the more premium model, and with it, a much more premium price tag as well. I was honestly surprised, as it throws in the towel and places second with an official time of 13 hours and 30 minutes. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a winner with a very decisive victory, as it still took some time for the iPhone 14 Plus to call it quits with an official time of 15 hours and 3 minutes. Incredible performance and mind-blowing to say the least. The iPhone 14 Plus may come with less features, but it's clear to see it's the battery champ, and this could be due to the differences in display technology, with the Pro line featuring ProMotion and a fuller resolution, which basically means it has to pump out slightly more pixels, and when you compound hours of use on top of it, it starts to add up over time. The regular 14 Pro sadly couldn't make it here, but I suspect it would have fallen even before the regular 14. Again, for the same reasoning as the larger Max and Plus models. But guys, as always, I absolutely adore making these videos for you all. If you find them useful, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you can, help me reach my 60K goal by hitting that red subscribe button. I still have my Apple Watch battery drain test on the horizon, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and I sincerely hope everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving enjoys time well spent with family and friends. Until next time, guys, bye for now.